Hi Libra. So last season we had two things we really need to focus on, and that was getting rid of these inconsistencies that we have in social settings when it comes to our friends, our loved ones around us. We were one day can be very objective and good at communicating, very typical earth sign, and then other days we kind of present ourselves as more emotional and it's just somebody that they don't know what they're gonna get, right? Somebody that can be a little bit unpredictable. So what should we be focusing on for this season? So we have the Knight of Cups in reverse, the Death card in reverse, the Queen of Wands, the Ten of Swords. Then we have the Four of Wands in reverse, the Five of Cups, the Queen of Cups in reverse, the Page of Swords, the Strength card, the Nine of Swords in reverse, the King of Swords in reverse, and finally the Knight of Swords, okay? I think that you guys did a lot of self-reflecting and you're in a good spot right now. But maybe some of you are not being successful in honing in your hopes right now, what it is your goals are for the new year. I know it can be really hard for Libras to make concise goals, concise expectations, realistic expectations, and I feel like we get so caught up on the hype of a new year, new me, want to do new things, and that's not helpful during Capricorn season at all, because we really need to be able to have clear things to root for. But I think we know this, and we're ready to get out of that. But, excuse me, I'm looking at my notes here. We're gonna have to have the courage to admit that first, to admit that we are not being the most objective, we're not being the most realistic with our goals, and that can be really hard for Libra to do. But once we do that, that's when we'll really start to get somewhere. So maybe make a list. All good leaders have lists of things that they need to do, objectives, and if you don't, you end up like this, upside down on the throne. I feel like this is going to be a pretty short reading because it's kind of clear. Libra, you guys are coming out very fast. I don't think you guys have really any hesitation towards these readings, which is really good, especially to go into new season like that. What else should we be focusing on for Libra? I think some of you are gonna, you know what, hold on. Let's wait to see what these next few cards are gonna be, and then we'll get into this. Okay. One more card, and then we'll look at them, okay? I think that some of you guys just get too caught up on what other people have to say about you. That some of you guys are being very judged, and that is not good. And you're starting to feel it, but what we really have to get into is being like this. Being like, fuck it. Not caring about what anybody has to say and just going for what it is. Going for what we already have going for us. We might have to be a little bit spontaneous, because you guys already have a good foundation when it comes to self-reflection, what we've been working on for these past 2 months, right? Because the alternative is overthinking too much and losing this possibility of having greatness. And I think that once we finally start to get into that full embodiment, people will shut up. And the noise will be a little bit less loud. What should we watch out for? What should Libra be careful of during this season? Don't move too fast. You have a whole month to get all of these plans done. There's a difference between spontaneous, being a spontaneous person and being a rash person. Spontaneous people realize that what they're doing is out of the ordinary and they proceed in a way that works for that. But rash people do things without thinking. They do things that don't turn out well all the time, and we don't want to be like that, right? So that's the end of this reading, Libra. I hope you guys have a great new year, and I'll see you guys next month.